you look in the mirror, you're overweight, ugly, unhappy, just me. Anyway, you scour the internet looking for that golden diet that'll get you jacked and shredded in like 2 weeks. Then on the Mirage or just a YouTube thumbnail, you see it, CBR, 1000 RRR Fireblade. Nah, CBR, chicken, broccoli, and rice. Is this the answer? It's gotta work, right? This is what everyone's saying to do. Anyway, my name's Shay. I'm an athlete and a nutritionist, and yeah, let's find out. So for all the macro bros, they get it wrong, right? They target numbers, but that doesn't really guarantee that the diet's actually gonna be good. A lot of these times, these macro calculators will actually recommend really low fat content, and if you look at the study here, the group that had 19.5% fat intake compared to a more fat intake actually had dropped testosterone levels. And if we look at the macros for chicken, broccoli, and rice, what do we got here? 8.7%. So the amount which would crash your test, yeah, let's just have half of that. Yeah, that's gonna work out. So you're crashing your test, which has energy implications, muscle building implications, probably fat gain. It also crashes your thyroid hormones, which are useful for, you know, losing weight, which is kind of the point of this diet. Also just your energy levels are gonna tank with not enough thyroid hormones. And because fats are generally used for a lot of hormone synthesis, it just crashes pretty much everything. Like growth hormones, another big one that just, nah dude, we don't do that here. Let's crash that as well. So it's like, unless you're injecting thyroid hormone, testosterone, and growth hormone, which, ooh, coincidentally, what do we have here? A lot of bodybuilders do that. A lot of bodybuilders are on this diet. Does that kind of circumvent everything? No, because you're still running into all the other hormonal imbalances. Like those three are just the tip of the iceberg. If we look at the other macros, it's like, okay, there's high protein, which I guess it gets every gym bro a little bit moist for some reason. And then the carbs is there because of the rice, but it's like, okay. And if we look at the fiber, you're getting a little bit from the broccoli. It's still not a whole lot. And furthermore, you're only getting the fiber from one source. It's not that diverse, which is problematic for your gut health. And as we know, your gut health influences pretty much everything, including energy levels and, you know, mental health, which is also going to be crashed from the hormone issues from the low fat intake. So just everything is bad, dude. Like, why are we doing this? I don't have my token pre-worky today. I got to get an early night, but I got some fresh kombucha. I mean, it's not pre-worky, but it's not bad. Plus gut health, you know? I just said gut health. Maybe some of these boys on the chicken, broccoli, and rice need some kombucha. Should we tell them? So let's look at the micronutrients, which macro bros are afraid of because they don't understand. It's like, okay, calcium. No, there is no calcium. There is not much. Vitamin D, pretty much zero. Of course, you can get it from the sun, but with low calcium and vitamin D intake, this is the complex that maintains, you know, bone density. This is so funny because one of the goals of weightlifting initially when they were like formulating everything is like, okay, well, this can be helpful for improving bone density and staving off osteoporosis later in life, or just, you know, astronauts in space keeping the bones strong. But without these things on this diet, it's osteoarthritis is like, hey man, I'll be there at like 4 p.m. There's no natural sodium here. Of course you can salt it, but some gym bros are afraid of salt. They're like, wait, salt draws water. Water makes me not look shredded, therefore bad. Okay. Also, it's just like some sort of weird martyr system. It's like you're not meant to enjoy your food because it's meant to be a struggle. No omega-3s or omega-6s, which you need for brain health. Of course, I talk sometimes about the imbalance there. You don't want a crazy amount of omega-6, but low omega-3, they're both essential. But either way, you're getting neither of them. So furthermore, brain health is bad, including like all the other things I said, like the gut health, the test, the thyroid hormone. So your energy levels are gonna be trash. Your brain is going to be working optimally. Should we carry on? If you are enjoying, please be sure to drop a like and consider subscribing. Otherwise, you will be sent to purgatory for 900 years and forced to only eat chicken, broccoli, and rice. There's no anti-inflammatories to mop up some of the inflammatory stress, which, I mean, it's not ideal. There's also no vitamin E, which is also an antioxidant, which also helps with the inflammation. So it's like, we don't do that either, apparently. So what's the overview here? So does it even work for weight loss? Well, at least with the broccoli, there are some thylakoids which work on the GLP-1 pathway, which is the same way as Ozempic works, well, of course, to a less extent. So I guess between that and the fact that you're gonna run into pellet fatigue and not really want to eat that much, I suppose it's gonna be somewhat easy to adhere to a low-calorie diet if you are trying to lose weight. Issue is, you could probably just eat more bit of regular food, because on this diet, your metabolism is going to crash, so you have to have like prisoner of war calorie levels in order to actually get under what your metabolic rate's gonna be after your thyroid hormone and your test levels crash. You could say, okay, well, at least the protein's a complete source. I mean, you're checking one box, good job. But in my opinion, this whole sort of thing embodies, okay, well, I can track my macros and I can eat all clean food, but that doesn't mean your diet's good. Like, you might feel good like, okay, I'm adhering to theoretically, well, not even theoretically, but what one would perceive to be a clean diet and a disciplined diet. But I've said this before, like, what good is discipline if you don't have the knowledge? Because then you're adhering to something and being strict on yourself, but the thing that you're being strict on yourself for isn't actually helping. So you're kind of just suffering for no reason. I'd imagine the only way you'd actually feel good on this diet is if you're moving to this diet from like a 95% processed diet where your inflammation markers are just through the roof, and then you come on and maybe you're drinking a lot or something, and then you come on this diet and it's like, it's terrible, but it's not as bad as what I was doing before. So now I feel okay. But it's like, there's so much left on the table. I don't want to hear like, oh bro, it works for me. It's like, no, if this works for you, dude, adhere to an actual decent, well-balanced diet and you're gonna feel like actually Superman, dude. There's no way around it. So if you hate your life still, what's a way we could make this work? Well, for one, you could salt it. For two, you could cook using olive oil. I think some of these gym bros use like the 0-calorie cooking spray because it's 0 calorie, therefore good, right guys? No. Olive oil is gonna add some omega-3s and omega-6s, monounsaturated fat, which is really good to cook with. And then you could top it up with some, I don't know, cold pressed flaxseed oil. That's gonna give you a lot more omega-3 as well. Because at the moment, you're just like, you're starving your body of the fats it needs. So I guess you could make it quite oily. That'd be the first step. And even more so, you could use chicken thigh or tenderloin instead of the breast to get a bit more fat on there. Yes, it's saturated, but you know, it's not that much. As well, you could mix up the vegetable choices to actually get a more varied fiber source pool. But gym bros are gonna be like, oh no, dude, broccoli's the only way. And lastly, I think the best thing you could do to change this diet is just take everything out of it and start again. So anyway, that's been me. This was an interesting video. It wasn't too hard to write because there's so many, well, there was a lot of points to write out because there's so many issues, but they're kind of obvious to me at least. But anyway, let me know if you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts below. I'll see you in the next one.